You go.
Okay, I'm timing myself, by the way, so. Okay, so my research was on photography being self-taught versus formal education, and why do people choose either? So, photography is one of those careers where it's not regulated. You don't need a formal qualification to be able to work as a practicing photographer. There's two different ways that you could work. You could either be freelance, and in that case, what would be the most important thing would be the strength of your portfolio, your marketing skills, so how you get your photography in front of other people, and then probably price has a lot to do with it and what people's budgets are and what they want to pay. Even if you were hired by a studio or a company, I would argue that again, your portfolio is the thing that matters and the skills that you're able to demonstrate in it. So, with all of that being said, we have multiple photography courses at the college. Some of them are more suited to people who want to do photography as a hobby. Some of them are more suited to students who will then go on and to university or go straight into the industry. We have well over, I'd say, 50 to 75 students. So it begs the question, why do people decide to enter formal education to become a photographer? And then you've also got the other side of the coin where people can self-teach, it is possible, and why would they decide to do that? I've gone on to the next slide. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. So my question was, what factors influence individuals pursuing a career in professional photography to choose between self-teaching and formal education, and how do these choices impact their career trajectories and perceptions within the industry? So obviously this is a huge mammoth question, and we're all doing small scale research here, so I feel like I just kind of scratched the surface. In terms of research methods, so I wanted to look at both sides of the coin. I wanted to look at photographers who were self-taught, and then obviously photographers who were in formal education. I used two different research methods. So I sent surveys to photographers who were currently working in the industry, who would describe themselves as self-taught. I got 4 responses. I also did a focus group of 3 current HND photography students. So compared to the rest of the courses that we offer, the focus in this degree level course really is for them to either go into university to then go into the industry, or to go directly into the industry. So they have 2 professional practice assignments throughout the course. So we really like to try and focus on that. So I thought that those would be the best people to sample. And then if I had more time, I would have liked to have a look at photographers who were working in the industry who had formal educations as well. So in terms of secondary research, the more formal research wasn't specific to photography. So I started with photography and then kind of branched out. So Robert Bagg said certain in-house studios at brands put in their job specs a photography degree would be preferred, but that requirement is easily bypassed by ticking other boxes such as character, successful interviews, and a strong portfolio. I also looked at the value of the humanities research, which humanities comes under arts, visual arts, which comes under photography. And they said that by studying the humanities, there was shown to be a social and economic value. It helped people's critical thinking, it developed their personal and spiritual skills, and it also offered as a contribution to other disciplines. And then I also looked at Talking Art by Gary Fine. So their approach was, now embedded in universities and art schools, art increasingly constitutes an academic discipline. This shift in focus may limit art's broad appeal as the size of the audience has declined over the past few decades. So with all of this being said, there's lots of different perspectives, and I didn't want to make a hypothesis for this reason, because I thought that there was going to be lots of different takes on it, and I wanted to keep it kind of open-ended. So the first research method that I did was survey. In terms of ethics, I included a ethics form within the survey, so people knew that by filling out the survey that they agreed to the terms that were outlined. I covered a lot of different things. one of them being the risk. So the survey says that, I'm just trying to read it, bear with me. The survey may involve questions about personal experiences and there is a potential for emotional discomfort. You are encouraged to only respond to questions which you feel comfortable. And I think that's a benefit potentially of a survey, that people can go back and edit things. It's not like a focus group where they might say something in the moment and then instantly regret it. There is that aspect of being able to go back and change things if you need to. I also wanted to run the analysis through ChatGPT, so I made sure that I put something in there to say that they agreed to that. The questions that I asked, so I asked questions like their age. The surveys were for people who were working in the industry that didn't have a qualification. So this question here was just to determine that the people who filled out that survey definitely fell into that category. I also asked them questions like, can you outline your background in self-teaching? What has been your experience with the previous answer and why? Do you feel like this experience has adequately prepared you for the industry? What are your career aspirations? And what is your opinion of formal photography qualifications and why? So I try to keep it very open and non-biased, and just kind of saying, what is your experience, rather than did you have a good or a bad experiences. So in terms of the survey, I had 4 responses. Everyone was either a part-time or full-time photographer with no photography qualifications. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just had a ping, so I just wanted to check. And everyone was between the ages of 35 and 56. I used thematic analysis, so some of the themes that I picked up on were that there were very diverse paths to self-teaching. So some people just did trial and error, some people went online and found forums or social media. Some people had in-person experiences like photography workshops or learning from friends. What was quite interesting as well was that there was very mixed views on formal qualifications, which I'll get onto in a second. But some people were very skeptical, whereas others could really see the benefits of them, but we'll have a look at that in a second. And then another theme was skill development and industry readiness. So respondents generally felt that their self-teaching experience did prepare them for working in the industry. And there was an acknowledgement that while formal qualifications could enhance certain aspects, like customer relations and editing techniques, there was a real focus on the practical experience and actually being out in the industry that I felt was really beneficial. So when asked, what is your opinion of photography qualifications? One person said, the skill set that I've learned and been exposed to has improved my abilities. However, I'm sure a full-time course would have prepared me better for customer relations, image processing and editing techniques, which it took me a while to get my head around. Whereas someone else had a very different approach, which was probably being harsh here, but I think they're a waste of time. Sorry. I see lots of people with photography degrees who can't take industry standard photos. They have no business acumen or marketing skills. I had the option to do a master's in photography. This person has a degree in marketing, but I didn't think it would provide me with anything new, which was quite interesting. I also did a focus group, so that was with 3 HND students, as I said. Again, you just got a copy of the consent form that they filled out and agreed to the day before. One of the terms was being in a comfortable setting, so we used the college classroom that they learn in. I recorded, or transcribed actually is the word, on Microsoft Word with the dictation, but it wasn't very accurate, so I had to go through and change a lot. So that's something to keep in mind. And the participants were informed that it was anonymous, but someone did say someone else's name, so that had to be redacted. In terms of questions, so I knew that I was going to get a lot more data from the focus group than the surveys, so I wanted to condense the questions down a little bit, but kind of mirror them. So I asked questions like, could you give me an introduction to your background? What has been your experience with your previous answer and why? What are your career aspirations? And what do you think about people who are self-taught in photography? The results were that the participants were exposed to photography through different paths. So some people were recommended through their friends, some people tried other courses and really didn't like it, and someone else said it was just a last-minute decision. They all commented on the benefits of having a community at college and what they learned from their peers and tutors, and they also talked about a real benefit of the resources and equipment that they have access to at the college, which allows them to explore different photography styles. And one person in particular said that they felt a real sense of pride and accomplishment in formal education. I thought that was quite interesting, that even in an artistic subject, there's still that prestige associated with the university, and that idea that your family is going to be proud of you. So when I asked them about what they thought about self-teaching, they definitely recognised that they thought it was possible, but they did emphasise the importance of guidance, support and the resources, as previously mentioned. Some participants were unsure about their future paths and carried on from the HND. They were considering options like further education, starting a business or just entering the workforce directly. Again, got some quotes. So one person up here said, having help from the teachers and other students has been very helpful with developing my work and helping me formulate an idea of where I want to take photography in the future. This is taken, it's a direct quote, so if it's conversational, that's why. Someone else said, I used to tell people that I don't really want a photography qualification at all. So to say that I'm very much thinking about doing the level 6, I'm very surprised at. And then the third person, as I mentioned, said that I'll be the first person in my family to go to uni, and I would, just for myself, I'd like to just have something that, like, you know, I've accomplished in life. So in terms of a conclusion, so I didn't make a hypothesis because I felt like there was going to be a wide variety of experiences and perceptions, and I do feel like that was reflected in the research. So both sides really did feel like there was a benefit to what they were currently doing. None of them said, I've done a photography course and it's been terrible and I haven't enjoyed it at all. Likewise, no one felt like they'd missed out in a huge aspect in terms of being self-teaching. Like I said, the focus group, there was just much more information. So it was a 20-minute conversation. There were 3 people. They were kind of bouncing ideas off each other. So in terms of the data that I was able to get, it was very unbalanced, especially in terms of surveys. I think it's one of those where, especially when people are on their phones, they can't really be bothered. So they'll answer a sentence maybe, or a couple of words in a lot of instances, which makes it quite difficult to draw conclusions from. So if I was going to take this further, I would probably do interviews or something a little bit more in depth in terms of people who are in the industry to balance that out. As I said, it was difficult to get detailed answers on the surveys, but a recurring theme in both research methods was the importance of business acumen and marketing skills in running a photography business. It's not just the practical skills that are important. The majority of photographers will be freelance and will have to run their own business. So what I'm going to do in terms of what I can do in that is just make sure that I'm teaching that in my lessons, which is something that I've been trying to implement more of. So even today we've been looking at websites and marketing and SEO and everything that might not potentially be covered as in detail on the courses so far, but I think it's a really important thing. And that's it.
Well done.
How do I go?
How are you finding it, Chloe?
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Well done, lad.
The students are
Welcome to the dark side.
Oh yeah, no, it is good. The students are really good.
What students have you got? What?
Are you working at the same place?
Paget Road.
Yeah, are you working at the same place?
Yeah, yes.
You can't be. You can't be because my students are idiots.
Your students are lovely.
And I've got a bit of a bone to pick with everyone, might I say.
What? Oh,
Well,
moist.
who didn't say moist? I think Dale said it by accident, but I said it 3 times.
You said it a few times.
Anyway, never mind. But I'm a little bit disappointed in all the 3 girls. Dale, well done.
Did Dale say it?
Yeah, apparently so.
I don't remember saying it, so I must have just thought it subconsciously and slipped it in somewhere.
I think I said it for you, didn't I? I think. Jesus.
Yeah.
But it's still recording. Can we stop it or not? Because I've just said moist again. So.
No, we can't stop it.
I think Adam has to stop it, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you can't get your recording now, can you?
So, Chloe, then, if you don't mind me asking, where do you think the future is for photography, and how would you change the course to kind of get people to be better prepared?
See, it's one of those, and it very much depends on the course and the freedom that you have. So the HND, there is like those like in-depth professional practice assignments, whereas with the level 3s, they're probably going to go into uni or straight into the workforce. We have a couple of weeks. So at the minute, I'm doing kind of a progression lesson with them, which actually is going to change now. And the person who's taking their tutorial is going to do that. So I've just been trying to, as you know, a couple of lessons, just implement it, because one student had to set up their website and they've been putting it off. I was like, right, come on, we'll do it now. I mean, it would be nice to have a little bit more freedom, but I think at the minute it's just like get my head around what I've got to do and then start to build on it, hopefully.
Brilliant. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, Chloe. Fantastic. So I'm just going to click stop recording now. Well done, everybody. That's you're all done, aren't you? You've all presented.